Today is the day that everything changes. Look at you. You're so young, vibrant, and full of energy. So much more life ahead of you, and yet already so wise. I wonder, did you know then what I know now? That when you made this choice, it would set us on a course for a truly rich and powerful life. You wanted an edge, a little extra flexibility, faster recovery from those spontaneous adventures, feeling good, clear mind, confidence, and abundant energy to embrace everything you set your sights on. Yes, including him. Your commitment to wellness gave me the hope I have today. Motherhood changes your world. Some days things may feel a little upside down. Oof. The juggle is so real. But mostly, you hold it all together with ease and grace, keeping up with the kids, crushing it at work. Every room you walk into feels more alive. And because of her, you have a new reason to recommit to yourself. Your healthy habits become the legacy you hand down. In all the years to come, you're still full of energy. You still have an edge. Yes, your body changes, but mostly in ways that you love. You still go on spontaneous adventures. You can still keep up with the kids. And you still embrace everything life has to offer. Because of this day, and your commitment to everyday since, to move with intention, to eat well, to laugh often, to stay centered, to teach by example, to reach for every advantage. Every day you made a commitment to me, your future self. So I just want to say thank you for the choice you make today to live your most powerful life.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ann Calhoun. If we have not met, I'm glad you're here. I am a wife, a mother of 3. I have been a nurse for 20 years, and I do doTERRA full time. I started my career in the neonatal ICU, where I worked at the bedside, and then I worked in the education department there. And because of some circumstances in our own life, found myself in a very frustrated position, not being able to get the things that we needed for one of our kids who was having some medical struggles, and found myself kicking and screaming, you might want to say, coming to doTERRA and finding the light bulb of holistic medicine turning on for me, something I was not taught in my nursing programs, but something that I have found great value in and continue to find even greater value. And I'm excited to share that with you. So whether you resonate with the younger woman or the older woman in that previous video, I think we can all agree that the decisions that we make now will continue to affect our lives for the positive or negative in the years to come. And so we are here to talk about what we can do to continue to make 5 years and 10 years from now healthier, hopefully, than we are even now. So we're going to talk a lot about metabolism today. We're going to talk about health span, lifespan, chronological aging, biological aging, and the things that we can do to help slow the aging process from the inside out. Here is a list of 6 things that can be preventing you from living your most powerful life. Over the course of teaching 5 different classes of this and actually polling the participants, I found that energy and weight tend to run in the top 2. However, brain clarity is something that we all are seeking as well. I think that we can all agree that we are different people than we were 3 years ago, physically, mentally, emotionally. And it seems that our capacity to function at the level that we did then has changed significantly. And so we are here not only to get that back, but to go even further than that. Wellness starts at a cellular level. This is something that I absolutely love about doTERRA is their commitment and focus on making ourselves healthier from the very baseline building block, and that is our cells. So many products on the market these days that make claims to make our lives better, to solve those problems that we've identified, do it by creating short-term benefits at the expense of long-term harm. And when our cells become healthier in the process of seeking greater health is when we are actually going to continue to see those benefits and maybe see them even multiply 5 and 10 years from now. So this is doTERRA's wellness lifestyle pyramid. We start with always giving our bodies good fuel, and we go from there. So what is metabolic health? Metabolic health, so metabolism is the process of turning fuel into usable energy for our body. However, metabolic health is doing that in a way that doesn't put undue stress on our cells and on our tissues. Metabolic health is the process of turning food into fuel in a way that we don't have high spikes and low dips. So there are 5 pillars of metabolic health, and the beautiful thing is we are in charge of all of these. Healthy eating, daily movement, healthy connections, healthy emotions, stress management, and this also includes restful, restorative sleep, and smart supplementation. And smart supplementation also gives us an edge on the other 4. So when we have really great supplementation, we can move more, we can move more consistently, we can move more without pain, and that aids in our daily movement. And that also applies then to the other 3 as well. How is your metabolic health? So this slide will help you understand that you and I fall into the category of needing to pay attention to our metabolic health. And that is because less than 7% of the population has optimal cardiometabolic health. And that is defined by body mass index, blood sugar, blood lipids, blood pressure, and overall cardiovascular health. Now, what you need to know about this is this number was attained through a study of over 55,000 people aged 20 and older. The reason that's important is because I wouldn't be surprised at this number if it was a small amount of people over the age of 60. However, this is a very, very large sample of 20 years and older. So we as a nation are not getting any healthier And we need to take charge of that in our own lives. Metabolic health and biological age are inseparable. So chronological age is the numbers of candles on our birthday cakes. And I've always just kind of run with the assumption that if I have 45 candles on my birthday cake, the cells in my pancreas, the vessels in my heart are also 45 years old. However, we know that that's not true because we all have met people that when we find out how old they are, we say, oh my goodness, I never would have guessed. I would have pegged you for, and we say 5 or 10 years younger than that, right? And on the flip side of that, we've also met people that when we see them, we hopefully don't say it out loud, but we think, I would have pegged you for 10 years older. And that appearance on the outside is a reflection of what's going on the inside. So if someone looks 10 years younger, chances are their cells are functioning 10 years younger. Their tissues are functioning better than their chronological age. And that is what we want. So a younger biological age only happens because we have superior metabolic health. All right, so let's learn more from Dr. Russell Osguthorpe.
Hi, I'm Dr. Russell Osguthorpe, and I'm so thrilled to talk with you about Healthspan. Just to be clear, Healthspan is not the same thing as lifespan. Lifespan is the number of years we live, whereas Healthspan is the number of years we live healthy. Now, I know that many of you have seen this graph several times, but it is so important to our understanding of the MetaPWR system that I'm going to go into greater detail than we ever have before. Because if you understand this graph, you'll take MetaPWR the rest of your life and be able to share it more effectively with others. If we consider our lifespan, the number of years we are alive, on the horizontal axis here, and our health span, the quality of our cognitive and physical performance on the vertical axis here, we can draw a curve that represents what naturally happens to our health span as we age, shown here in gray. However, the reality is we live in an incredible time where medicine and science can extend our lives. This dark blue line represents what happens when we use the best of medicine to try and manage issues related to a poor lifestyle. As these interventions improve our numbers, like blood sugar, blood pressure, and lipids, we can gain a modest amount of health span and lifespan. But what is staggering to me is how little benefit is derived from decades of this type of management. Look how close that blue line is to the gray line. It's incredibly minimal. As we near the end of our life on the blue line, you can see how through heroic use of life-extending medical technology, we can extend an individual's lifespan by a few years. But look at the quality of life that person is experiencing. Our lives might be extended by these heroic medical efforts, but one could argue that they are not enriched. Finally, let's look at the orange line. This is more typical for master athletes and people stacking healthy lifestyle habits consistently throughout their lives. What is most impressive about this group of people is that health span and lifespan can both be significantly improved. People who optimize their metabolism through daily exercise, diet, relationships, stress management, and of course smart supplementation can not only potentially live longer, but add life to those years. Here's my dream, my why for my health span. Well into my 90s, I want to be able to spend a day, many days, out fly fishing with my posterity. I'd be able, on any of those days, to back my truck down the ramp, unload my drift boat, launch that boat, and then row that boat myself all day long. Watch my kids and posterity catch boatloads of fish. And then at the end of my life, I'd go home from a day of fishing, enjoy dinner with my family, and peacefully pass away in my sleep. That would be a health span that matches or equals my lifespan. Let me show you how that works. Let's assume that here on the vertical axis, we have 100% quality of cognitive and physical health during young adulthood. Now let's draw a line across this chart at 50% function. This is the stage of physical and cognitive health span where we are still capable of caring for ourselves, still living independently. We might not be running a 10-minute mile anymore, but we are probably able to walk a brisk 15-minute mile without difficulty with our kids or grandkids. Said differently, above this line, you can still do the things you want to do, although you might notice slight declines in your performance as you age closer to that 50% line. Below this line, living independently becomes more difficult due to cognitive decline or having enough physical strength and stamina to perform our daily activities. Now, if we continue that line at 50% function across the chart, look at where it intersects the blue line versus the orange line. This is what you need to understand. Look at what you can gain when you optimize your metabolism. Look at those years, but more importantly, look at the life that is added to those years. Currently, in North America, toward the end of our lifespan, we spend about 8 years, sometimes as many as 15 years, dealing with challenges that take away our quality of life and lower our health span. We can't always have a health span that lines up perfectly with lifespan, but we can certainly do better. Our lifestyle choices can extend our health span, full stop. When we combine a mindful and consistent approach to our diet, movement, stress management, relationships, and smart supplementation, we can maximize all the efforts we make in improving our lifestyle and then reap the benefits for all of our years to come. There are no magic paths to achieve this goal of prolonged health span. It will require serious effort by teams of caring and coordinated people. That is what we excel at. Have you helped people change their lives with doTERRA essential oils? MetaPWR will now allow you to impact not only individual lives, but generations. Here's the even better news. It does not matter where you are on the curve or how old you are when you start. Any lasting efforts made by an individual to make improvements in their lifestyle will reap tremendous benefits for years to come.
All right. So the lifespan versus health span gap. This is a concept that is new to me. I did not learn about this when I was in nursing school. And to hear Dr. Osgothorpe talk about that statistically Americans spend the last 8 to 15 years of their life unable to be independent, unable to be healthy enough to live the life that they want to live. Number one, it's horrifying to me. Number two, I know that it's true. I know that it has been my experience, both professionally and personally, that people as they age in a way that is unhealthy, and age that in a way that requires help and assistance. And so we'll talk more about that. We're going to talk about how that process happens and what we can do to prevent it. So the hallmarks of aging begin to appear at age 25. I don't know about you. When I was 25, I certainly wasn't thinking about aging. But one of the physiological reasons that happens, or the physiological process that starts at that time, is that NAD plus, or NADH, you might remember it called by, begins to steadily drop. And go back to high school biology, go back to ATP production. ATP is the molecule of energy that our body needs. It's the currency, you might say, that our body uses for all function. Not only to give us energy throughout the day to do the things we want to do, but to do the processes in our organs that need to be done in order to sustain life. So as we age, starting at 25, NADH drops, and it actually drops by half by the time we're 50. And so not only are we half as vital as we were at age 25, but our organs have half of what they need in order to function properly by age 50. And it is no surprise then that disease process starts to escalate at that point. If our organs don't have what they need to function properly, they are going to go into dysfunction. And therefore, metabolic function declines. So we are talking about this because we are going to have a really great tool to give our bodies NADH back. And I have found it to be pretty significant. So, all right. So metabolic health obstacles. What things stand in our way to have optimal metabolic health? And as I mentioned earlier, the top two barriers to the best life that we can have, a high quality of life, weight and energy. So maturing fat cells, blood sugar spikes, cellular integrity, and inferior supplements. We're going to go through these one at a time, and we're going to talk about the MetaPWR products that we have in order to combat these obstacles. First, though, I want to go back to one of the things that Dr. Osguthorpe said in the video. And that is, he talked about his dream for his health span. And mine does not include fishing like his does. But the first time I heard him talk about that, I was, having worked around doctors for decades, it was very surprising to me to hear a physician talk that vulnerably and that passionately about aging and keeping our health as we age. And so the more I've thought about that, the more I want to encourage you to think about, what is your dream for your health span? What are the things that you want to do in your later years that continue to give you a high quality of life? And I'll just share mine. It's taken me a while to really hone it in. And quite honestly, I will tell you that when you find it, you know it's the right one because it instantly brings you to tears. Okay. It is that strong of an emotional connection for you. And for me, it is that I want to be able to be somebody who continues to help others until the day that I die. Whether it is knitting hats for babies in the neonatal ICU, whether it is going to schools and reading books to children. See, I'm going to start to cry. I want to be able to be someone who loves others well until the day that I die. I would love to hear yours. I wish I could. All right, so let's get into the products here. All right, so the first obstacle we talked about was maturing fat cells. So this is a representation of our fat cells. Our fat cells are, the number of fat cells is relatively stable by the time we hit adulthood. However, there is like a 5 to 10% turnover year to year. And our fat cells start out small and they can fluctuate in size. We can add fatty acids to them, increasing their size, thus increasing our size. And those fatty acids come from extra fuel or food that we eat that we don't use and get stored for later use. If we burn fat, if we use fat for fuel, which means we have to get through the glucose that we eat, we have to get through the glycogen stores in our liver and then we get to burning fat for fuel. The use of that fat and the detoxing of our fat cells, that's another way that it can happen, will work to reduce the size of those fat cells. So let's talk about how MetaPWR Metabolic Blend fits into that shrinking of our fat cells. So this metabolic blend is a reformulation and renaming of the former Slim and Sassy blend. Now, Slim and Sassy was very effective at preventing cravings, at inhibiting fat cell maturation, and also working to release those fatty acids from our fat cells so that they could be used. It also did a great job at detoxing our fat cells. MetaPWR is less peppermint, more citrus oils. So it's grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, and cinnamon. So I feel like the taste is lighter. I feel like I get less of that pepperminty heartburn feeling that I got with Slim and Sassy. And this comes in 4 different delivery systems, or 4 different ways that you can use this. So obviously the oil, which can be used internally, topically, even aromatically. I love this smell in the diffuser. It comes in a soft gel for just convenient internal use. The beadlets, which are a 1/4 drop of oil in the gum. And those 2 are really great to use in between meals to kick those cravings. So however you decide to use this oil blend, it is going to prevent fat cells from going from immature to mature. It's going to help shrink fat cells and detox fat cells. It's also going to help curb our cravings and overall support our metabolic health. So here's Ange Peters talking about how she used these products in order to kick her sugar habits, which I love.
I knew I wanted to come in and see if I could come off of sugar, and I wanted to stretch my fasting window a little bit because that's something I had been incorporating as part of my release of the old. And so I was really happy with that, but all of the other things that came with it were unexpected, delightful surprises. The first product I tried within the system was the actual oil blend, just adding it to my water, and I loved the flavor profile of it. It's light, has that perfect amount of mint and citrus, and it actually is now my preferred oil to add to water. I've been living a foundation of wellness for years, and I think because I have a good baseline in place, I'm actually able to really detect the impact that a change is having in my body, and I was able to see that I was, without effort, doing a lot more throughout the day. So when I see that, I see my metabolic health working at a new level in my body, really. I think one of my favorite results through integrating these products was being able to kick sugar, because I can see how that had a grip on me. So I'm so happy to be free of that. And I actually, let's see, as of today, I haven't had sugar in over 2 months. So I'm thrilled, and I've completely lost my taste for it. So we're done. We've broken up.
Okay, so we're going to move on to blood sugar spikes, how MetaPWR can help prevent blood sugar spikes. And I will tell you that when I first started hearing about this system, I was most excited about this in particular. And the reason for that is because we have a significant insulin resistance problem in our country, and it is getting younger and younger and younger. And I'm going to explain this to you by using the analogy of a car. So if you were to drive your car in a manner that you slam on the accelerator, go as fast as you can, as far as you can, and when you need to stop, you don't necessarily just ease your foot off the gas, but you take your foot off your gas and you just jam your foot on the brake. And it's constant go and stop. Go and stop. Number one, you're going to be miserable by the time you get to where you're going, but you're also going to ruin your tires. You're going to wear out your brakes. You're going to put some significant stress on your engine. And it's a very dangerous way to drive. You're taking a lot of risk in driving that way. Excuse me. So, with our cars, it would cost a lot of money, but you can repair those things. We don't have that option with our body. So this same thing holds true for the way we eat. If we eat in a manner that spikes our blood sugar and then drops our blood sugar, and because of that low dip, we're then looking to bring our blood sugar back up, and we bring it up in a way that spikes it again, we are going to put a lot of stress on our body. So if there's one thing that you hear me say when I talk about this next product, it is this: every time you spike your blood sugar, you age. Every time you spike your blood sugar, you age. This should also concern you. So what does that mean to spike our blood sugar? There is a natural curve, a natural easy roller coaster that we do throughout the day as we eat. We eat and our blood sugar goes up, and as our body uses that sugar for fuel, it dips down, okay? However, it's the height of the spikes and the low of the dips that is putting a lot of stress on our pancreas and other tissues of our body that is going to age us and do damage over the long term. So here's a really fantastic solution. The MetaPWR Assist is an herbal blend that its main focus is to prevent those high spikes and low dips. So this is a little bit of the MetaPWR essential oil blend. The two main ingredients are berberine and mulberry. Berberine and mulberry have a lot of research behind them for a lot of different things in our body, but some of their benefits include helping our pancreas, helping our insulin level and our blood sugar level, and can stabilize our energy throughout the day because it's working to stabilize our blood sugar throughout the day. So this has some really great clinical trials behind it. And doTERRA found in that research that the MetaPWR blend does a really great job to take those highs and lows that we would normally get while we're eating and make them lower highs and higher lows, right? So preventing those highs and lows. Now, what they also found is that if you are somebody who falls out of the normal range of fasting blood glucose and out of the range of a normal A1C, which is a 2 to 3 month indicator of average blood glucose, that this product is actually going to work better for you. So when you hear things like, for those who have a normal blood sugar in regards to this product, I want you to think, and if you don't have a normal blood sugar, great, this is going to be even more important, even more helpful. All right, so this class is an introduction. And if you are someone who your radar is already up and you're thinking, I want to know more about the trials, I want to know more about the research, I want to know more about the development and usage of these products, great, you are my people. This QR code is going to send you to a MetaPWR course that doTERRA put together. It's an hour, hour and a half. It's excellent information. If you don't have a second device to scan this, no big deal. Training.doterra.com is where you're going to go. Training.doterra.com. www.doterra.com.
So whenever I was first asked to try out MetaPWR, I honestly was kind of wondering how much would it actually do for me, right? So I was already eating healthy, I already regularly exercise, I'm young, and I'm on all of our oils, all of our supplements, I drink plenty of water, I kind of felt like I checked all of the boxes. And as I started using them by like day 2, I was like, oh, I can tell a difference with this. I have really worked with my blood sugar my entire life. I rarely had an appetite. I was just really never very hungry, and I didn't really feel like eating. And this really affected my energy and mood. I would just really feel like I hit this wall of fatigue. So since I started using the MetaPWR products, the most life-changing aspect for me has been the stability in my blood sugar. This was, for me, a newfound freedom. I really noticed improved blood sugar stability on day 2 because I was hungry and I felt like eating, which was really rare for me, honestly. Having improved my appetite, I'm now able to eat more, which has given me even more energy and more stamina. Just the other day, I ran 6.5 miles, which is over double kind of the usual distance that I would do. And I didn't feel fatigued or hit that wall that I normally would have. It honestly felt like I was gliding. I felt stronger, and even at the end, I still felt energetic. I've called this rocket fuel because of all the sustained energy and stamina that it's given me.
All right, moving on to cellular integrity. We want to make sure that, as I said before, we are looking good on the outside because of what we are doing on the inside. We all know that we can buy beauty products in the hundreds of dollars to really kind of make something happen on the outside, but that doesn't affect our biological aging on the inside. And that's what we are going for here, is to make a big difference on the inside and have that reflected on the outside. So we're going to talk about MetaPWR Advantage. MetaPWR Advantage is a combination of collagen and NMN. Now we're going to go back to that NAD conversation that we started earlier when we talk about NMN, but we're going to start with collagen, okay? Before we do that, we're gonna see a video that talks about the power of this product specifically.
One of the first things I noticed was an increase in my mental clarity. As a single mom with 2 kids running a medical practice, brain fog is a real thing, and it's really difficult sometimes for me to switch gears in between patients and wearing my mom hat. And that's one of the big things that I have noticed during the time I've been on MetaPWR. That energy, that clarity and focus is sustained. 2 to 3 weeks in, people started making comments about my skin, like, your skin is glowing. I walked into this event and the teacher was like, "You're glowing today, Dr. Anderson." And I was like, MetaPWR. But those are the things that I just didn't expect to happen. I feel like I've been fighting to get under the 200-pound marker for the last 3 years. I played college basketball, I competed in pageants and fitness competitions, so I've seen my body in tip-top shape. I was kind of getting to the point where I thought, this is the new mom body. You're just going to have to live with it. You're not going to see those days again. You will never have an ab muscle again. In the first 30 days, I was able to release 14 pounds and got under the 200 mark, which I have not seen in 5 years. Feeling the energy, feeling the mental clarity, seeing the shift in the body, game changer.
All right, so almost everything you and I have been told about collagen is wrong. We are not what we eat, we are what we absorb. And that goes for everything. So an example, a good example of that would be turmeric. Typically, turmeric in the powder form has very, very poor absorption, which is great if you're trying to get that benefit to the inside of your intestines, but that's the only place you're going to see it, right? So doTERRA realized that when they combined turmeric powder with turmeric oil, all of a sudden they had 11 times greater absorption. And then you're getting turmeric into your bloodstream where it can do good throughout the whole of your body. Historically, collagen has poor absorption. There's lots of reasons for that. One example is when collagen is delivered in a liquid form, when you buy it in a liquid form, that water has to be sterilized. In some cases, it's also pasteurized, depending on the ingredients. And those two processes greatly affect the bioavailability, the usability of that collagen in our body. So the doTERRA Advantage product is 12 times more bioavailable. What you are paying for is actually getting into your body and being able to be used by your cells and tissues. Now, there are 28 different types of collagen in our body, and most collagen products provide 1 or 2 types of collagen. Now, this is fine if you are targeting skin health. If you are looking to maybe use that collagen to prevent some wrinkles in your face, I would call this vanity collagen. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you know that's what you're paying for, that's what you're getting. This product has 9 unique types of collagen, which means you are going to get a very broad benefit base from this product. And it is activated by you. So many types of collagen is activated and in some cases deactivated in the manufacturing process, right? But even if it's activated in the manufacturing process and not deactivated by that sterilization or pasteurization, by the time it gets to you, it could be weeks or months old. And so I like the Advantage product coming in sachets the way it does, because when we combine it with water in our kitchen, in our office, wherever you're doing that, you are activating it in that moment. It is at its freshest in that moment. Okay, so again, if you are somebody who is saying, yeah, but because you are a collagen expert, I need you to snap this QR code and go to the FAQ sheet that's going to answer all of those questions and get real deep into those details, okay? All right, so 9 different types of collagen that are marine sourced. This is really important because most collagen is bovine or porcine sourced. I actually just threw away the collagen that I had purchased months ago and had taken very sporadically. And I bought that because I remember being in that aisle in Costco and seeing the display and thinking, okay, I don't even know what collagen is, but I know that it's good. And so I should probably buy this and take this because it's going to be healthy for me. What I didn't realize was potentially I was introducing carcinogens into my body because of it being beef and pork type collagen, and those collagens typically being very, very high in herbicides and pesticides, particularly glyphosate. The interesting thing was, as I was like scouring the bottle, now that I know better, scouring the bottle, and I'm looking for like free of glyphosate, free of herbicides and pesticides, I didn't see that. So in the trash it went. So the marine sourcing means that that is not a threat to us. We don't have to worry about glyphosate. And for that reason, I am very, very happy. Now, let's talk about allergies, because this question has come up. If you have a fish allergy, you should not be taking this. If you have a shellfish allergy, you're safe. Got it? Okay. moving on. So let's talk about the MetaPWR ingredients as a whole, because remember we said there's not only collagen, but NMN. So NMN is a precursor to the NADH that we talked about earlier. Remember, our NADH levels drop by half by the time we're 50. We are trying to prevent that drop. We are trying to make sure that our organs have all the energy that they need to function properly and not move into dysfunction. So NADH is something that you can give your body in IV form. And that is typically cost prohibitive, time prohibitive, and not everybody likes needles. So NMN, or nicotinamide mononucleotide, is a precursor to NADH that when we give it into the body in an oral form can quickly be converted and easily used in that form of NADH. Now, when you see the box, I was thinking, oh, there's 2 ingredients in this, collagen and NMN. However, the NMN actually comes from multiple sources, which I really like. Also take note of how many of these ingredients have antioxidant function. Anytime we're giving the body antioxidants, we're giving the body essentially anti-inflammatories. The root cause of all disease is inflammation. Reducing inflammation, reducing disease, always a good thing. Now, keep this picture and this list of ingredients into your head, because I want you to think about the cost of all of those ingredients separately if you were trying to put this product together yourself. Typically, collagen is purchased separately from NMN, and that cost adds up quickly. So all of those ingredients on that list would total over $300. And this MetaPWR is $84.50 for a 30-day supply. And I can promise you that if nothing else, for those of you who are constantly looking in the afternoon for that sugar hit, that caffeine hit, that like, I don't have time for a nap, I have to keep going, you are paying $5, $6, $7, $8 for that caffeinated drink, whether that is coffee or the Red Bull, the Monster, whatever it is. And as we talked earlier, we don't want to put things in our bodies that are going to do long-term harm. So this product is an inexpensive way to do your body good now and have those benefits be far-reaching into the future, which is exactly what we're looking for, especially when we're considering that, what is your dream of your health span? This is going to help get you there. All right, so inferior supplements, whether it's collagen or whether it's a different way that you are trying to solve those 6 barriers to the highest quality of life, we want to take those out of the picture. We need to have really good, smart supplementation. And the MetaPWR system used as a system. So the interesting thing is, as we looked at, these have a broad range of benefits. We're not nickel and diming here. We are using all of these together to get a synergistic effect from all of them.
Here's what I think is really cool about these products. They will support every person in going to their next level.
Throughout life, we're all going to face different challenges and struggles. And for me, what I realized that when life was hard, when I was struggling, I would go to food to comfort me. And the difference for me that I've realized is that I'm not going to the chocolates. I'm not going to the pizza.
I found that when I do have those cravings, just chewing the gum or grabbing a couple of beadlets completely takes that away. And it's even gotten to the point where things that I normally would enjoy are almost too sweet for me now. It's like my body has just realized that we don't need that level of sugar intake.
Even if you don't know what changes you want to make within your health, these tools are going to help your body go there.
One of the things I've loved about this experience has been the quicker recovery after exercise. I've noticed after lifting or running that I recover much quicker, and I've really felt a lot stronger in the gym. Exercise just feels easier and I feel ready for it, and I don't need as long of a recovery time, so I'm able to go back a lot sooner.
With MetaPWR, I have so much energy. I sleep so great. My body is listening and moving in ways that it hasn't in years.
I got the products during my trip that I take every summer out to see my family. We were staying up late playing night games with my family the night before at our family reunion and all of this stuff. And that whole next day on my drive home, I didn't have to stop and get any caffeine to help stay awake. Like, I just felt the sustained energy throughout that whole day when normally that would have knocked me out.
I'm so much happier during the day because I feel rested. I feel like my brain is actually functioning the way it's supposed to, and I can think clearly.
My sugar cravings are down, and so I am enjoying food better, like real good food. And I literally feel young. I can't even put an age on it. I just feel young.
All right, so I'm going to share with you some stories of some friends of mine who have been taking the MetaPWR system for a few weeks now. And as you read through these, I actually want to share my story. So I started taking the MetaPWR system when I was in Salt Lake City for doTERRA's convention in mid-September. And I had actually come to convention about 9 days into an illness that I could not kick. I had gotten sick Labor Day weekend and was hoping it was just a 24-hour bug. But on day 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, I was experiencing massive fatigue. I had brain fog that just made me feel really useless, both professionally and for my family. And no matter what I did, no matter how many hours I slept or sat on the couch, I wasn't waking up any better the next day. So I went to convention and I was due to present. And I was nervous about that because I didn't feel my best. I wanted to feel great. And so I said to somebody at corporate, hey, this is what's going on. And their answer was, oh, no problem. I'll get you an Advantage packet. And remember, I talked about the fact that my dream for this product line was kind of longer term, significant health changes, that this wasn't something that was going to act fast. And so I said, do you think it'll work that fast? And he said, oh, I think you'd be surprised. And so that afternoon, I took an Advantage packet with some water, went to bed, took another the following morning and afternoon. So I had 3 in 24 hours. And within that 24 hours, brain fog completely gone, energy completely back. I felt normal and I was shocked. So as you look at some of these testimonies that people are sharing, you're seeing that they're experiencing more energy, less pain, more focus. And after a week of taking the entire system, I recognized a new benefit that, again, I wasn't expecting. And that was how my mood was affected. I have had a year of pretty significant grief, a lot of stress. Both my aunt and my best friend died of cancer, and I was in large part a major force in caretaking for both of them. And I was just wrung out emotionally and physically. And I didn't know if the cloud of grief was ever going to lift, if I was ever going to get back to how I normally think and feel and behave. And I remember a week into this system, I was heading to my weight training session, and normally I show up having drug myself there, especially in the last year, drug myself there. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to laugh, have a conversation. I just want to do what I'm supposed to do, and sometimes, quite honestly, cry the whole time through it. And this time I showed up as if sunshine were coming out of me, like extroverted, positive, happy, interactive. And my trainer was quick to say, boy, I haven't seen you act like this in a long time. And it wasn't, it was pure. It wasn't this kind of caffeinated, revved up, you know, your leg is bouncing, you know, kind of a feeling. It was me. I was back. And it was the biggest gift I could have been given this year. And so having said that, I experienced postpartum depression with all 3 of my kids, and prior to being in doTERRA, and I know what it's like to be on mood altering medication. And I know that it just kind of numbs all of the feelings, right? And what I have found is I can still go into that sadness. I can still talk about my aunt and my friend, and I can still shed tears and feel all of the feelings, but I don't stay there. By the end of the day, by the end of that conversation, I'm back to me again. And so this has been just such an incredible gift. Now, it's been a few weeks since then, and what I continue to experience is, I think one of the most fun things is that waking up is easy. Waking up is something that happens quickly. And actually, I'm waking up earlier than I normally do. I think that that's because my body has the energy to be able to do all the resting and restoration that happens at night. And when that process is done, I'm ready for the day. The other thing I'm finding is I'm super productive at work. Super, super productive, sitting here, teaching and sharing with you guys. So if those are things you're looking for, I think you're going to love these products. Okay, so here's what we do. The MetaPWR Metabolic Blend products, those 4 things, use AM, PM throughout the day. The Assist, you're going to take with your largest meal of the day. If you fall into that category of my blood sugars are already something that I pay very close attention to because they aren't stable, then you can take this with every meal of the day to meet those goals that you have. And then the MetaPWR Advantage, you're going to take 1 per day. If you want to be a super user, you can take 2 or up to 3 per day. Most people start out taking this in the morning. However, if you're not experiencing the wide range of benefits with taking it in the morning, try pushing it to lunchtime. And if you're like me, I have found that my body actually needs to rest. And so I am taking my Advantage before bed and finding that that gives me really, really great restorative sleep. Now, I would imagine that that's going to be for a period of time for me, and that eventually I'll go back to afternoon and maybe even to the morning. But this dosage and timing is going to be a little different for everyone. So there's a sample schedule here. You can take a screenshot of this. This is going to be where you're going to start and make modifications as your body needs those modifications made. A note here on lifelong vitality. This is not an alternative to LLV. You have to continue to take LLV. It is your source of nutrition. MetaPWR is going to help take that nutrition and the nutrition that you take by your food and create more metabolic health with it. So continue on your LLV, please. All right. This MetaPWR kit is $179. That comes with free enrollment. So if you do not yet have a doTERRA membership, this is a really, really great way to not only start yourself on that journey of better health, but to be able to continue to get the best prices at doTERRA with that membership. Now, what I suggest is you find a group of people who are using all of these products for a minimum of 30 days and you compare notes, right? You find ways to continue to use these products in a way that creates good habits. Anytime we start something new, we have to make habits of it. And a group of people will help you tweak those dosages and timing as needed. Now, I want to just share something about 30 days versus 90 days. My recommendation as a nurse is that you commit to a minimum of 90 days and you get lab work done prior and after those 90 days. So why 90 days? Well, when doTERRA tested these products for the changes that they make internally on a cellular level, they found that they were looking at a 90-day window to see some pretty significant change, okay? So what I mean by that is blood lipids, including cholesterol and triglycerides, fasting blood glucose, and insulin, if you know you have some insulin resistance going on, an A1C, which I mentioned earlier is that 2 to 3 month window of average blood glucose, and a CRP. So a CRP is a C-reactive protein. It is a marker of inflammation, and we always like to see the inflammation in our body decrease. So get those in the beginning, see where your starting point is, and after 90 days, get those repeated so that you can see some pretty significant improvements. Now, if you already have a membership, or if you get a membership with the MetaPWR kit, this is applying to you. When you have a lifelong a loyalty rewards order, which is a monthly recurring order that is customizable, at the current time, we purchase lifelong vitality and can purchase up to 3 items at reduced price. Those 3 items now include the assist and beadlets as an option, or the advantage as an option. Those options will be added in November. However, starting now in October, you can purchase the MetaPWR kit and get those 3 options that are typically available with the lifelong vitality. You can now add those on to the MetaPWR kit. So doTERRA is making it very easy and giving us a discount on products when we combine them together. So when you put your MetaPWR Advantage kit in your cart, you're going to see a customized button, just like you do with your lifelong vitality. Make sure that you click that button and add up to 3 items. This is a really, really great way to be able to have more than one person in your household benefit from the MetaPWR kit. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this class. It's been an honor for me to teach it, and think today about your dream for your health span. Make that something that brings tears.